We are 22S Radio. 22S Radio is 22smedia.com and 88.1 FM KKJZ HD3, Long Beach, Los Angeles.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and now our World Broadcasting Tag Team Champions of the World and our Cruiserweight Champion.
I'm Ethan.
I'm James.
I'm Rob.
And this is episode 157 of Beyond the Ropes. We are BTR Pro Wrestling Talk. Of course, I am your host, Ethan, joined alongside the Analyst James Williams and producer Rob Flores. You can follow me on Twitter at EthanMB95. You can follow James at
JHW Reporter.
And you can follow Rob at
Rob Flores Media. And don't forget the R-Truth DMs for Ethan.
As well as Real BTR Radio on Twitter. We've got a busy show ahead of us, so let's not waste any more time. Guys, this weekend, the biggest comeback in probably professional wrestling history. That's right, I'm talking about Brood Edge is back. The biggest comeback of the entire weekend.
I can't.
No?
I was trying to think of something like that, a swerve, and I just couldn't think of anything. I'll give you credit.
Right. It wasn't Brood Edge, guys. It wasn't Brood Edge. It was Becky Lynch who came back and saved.
Okay, now you're just spoiling. You're just spoiling the show.
No, it's not spoiling the show. Now, if I were spoiling the show, I would say Brock Lesnar came back as well.
The biggest. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing.
No, is that not right, sir?
No, let me put it to you this way. I think if you're gonna have someone like a Becky Lynch, if you're gonna have someone like a Brock Lesnar, if you're gonna have a Brood Edge come and be a part of SummerSlam, I think a lot of that would have to be in response to something, maybe on another channel, for example.
I don't think so, but there was.
You don't think so? Okay.
There was something that did happen on another channel on TNT over on that AEW show that we occasionally talk about. We're talking about CM Punk making a return to professional wrestling for the first time in 7 years. His last appearance was in 2014 at the Royal Rumble event, I believe, where he walked out of the company due to frustrations for several reasons. Of course, he went on to be in the UFC and kind of MMA for a little bit. Not the best record, but he did that. He wrote a few comics, I believe, for Thor. He wrote a few Thor comics. And then he also has been acting in some horror films. And I believe most recently he is in the Stars television series Heels, which is a pro wrestling show.
I think I did know that.
Yeah,
Stars. I thought you said SARS. Isn't SARS like a virus?
Yes. Speaking of viruses, wear your mask, get your vaccination. I know James is wearing his mask right now. He's on assignment at the moment.
Yes, I'm here at UCLA and I'm like looking around because I'm not wearing my mask and like you're supposed to wear your mask, so I just don't want to feel like judged. But I do have.
He does have his mask. CM Punk basically came out. I'm not gonna go through the entire promo. We'll go through it. Take a few minutes to discuss it, obviously, because it's a big deal. But basically, he came out. He was very emotional. He came out to Living Color's Cult of Personality, which of course was his theme song in WWE, which is great. Obviously, the entire Chicago crowd, one of the biggest ovations I've ever heard. And, he basically said he kind of apologized if people didn't like his personal choices that he's made. Basically, I think he apologized for kind of like leaving pro wrestling. But he also was excited to be back. He basically said he wasn't going to get better staying at the place that made him sick, which is kind of, mentioning WWE without actually mentioning them. And he said he left pro wrestling in 2005 and made his pro wrestling return in 2021. Basically,
I thought that was interesting.
I mean, WWE does refer to themselves as sports entertainment, so it is going to be what it is. Yes, they did have an exclusive T-shirt for everyone in Chicago in the United Center.
Oh, I didn't know that.
As well as they got free ice cream bars on their way out. I saw that.
I was aware of that, but I don't think I ever saw anyone like actually like have a picture of it. Like I don't know.
I saw someone take a video of them. They were handing them out as they were leaving the
I
doors.
saw that, but like, what did it look like? Did it look like the other ones?
No, it was just like a chocolate bar or something. It
Oh,
was maybe like a sandwich or something. I don't think it was. It had the ingredients on the
yeah, I saw it was like Madagascar vanilla or
yeah,
something.
something like that, and it just had CM Punk's logo on it. So obviously,
Oh, okay.
Tony Khan shelled out some money to get some personalized ice cream for the show. But he
Yeah, I
basically
heard he
said
did pay for it.
he basically said he's back, and he challenged Darby Allin to All Out, happening back in Chicago in a couple of weeks. So we'll obviously talk about that when that time comes. Any thoughts about this? I kind of just rushed through this segment, but he spent about a good half hour kind of making his entrance, cutting a nice promo. Jim Cornette himself said it was a perfect way to bring him back. Yeah, he
Wow.
actually said this was the best way they could have brought him back. Um, and
Yeah.
he's yeah. So I mean, I agree. I think just giving CM Punk a microphone, he sat down cross-legged in the middle of the ring, which is obviously a reference to the pipe bomb promo he did 10 years ago. So it was a nice little reference there. But he seemed happy to be back, and I know he just came out, I believe, for Dynamite, which I hear is a mess of a show. But
How so? Wait, whoa, okay. Well, we'll
I
talk about
keep
that in a minute.
there's some botches.
Um.
We'll talk about that. But
Oh, well,
CM Punk, your thoughts on CM Punk's return?
yeah. I mean, obviously, a big deal that he did come back, and part of me was thinking because of kind of how I don't know if unsecretive is the word, but I guess how out there and how
The worst kept secret it
forward
was.
the worst kept secret. There you go. I think the way they kind of went about it was kind of like they were almost too forward about it. They almost didn't think it was going to happen. So I guess from that regard, I'm glad that they actually went through with it. There was some thought behind it. It would seem, obviously with it being in Chicago, getting them there. I don't think they really. It's not like CM Punk was hiding backstage or anything. Kind of not that this is a dig at the Hardy Boys, but kind of like the Hardy Boys when they made their surprise return at WrestleMania. I don't think it was like he was the backstage. He was talking to people. I think like they said he talked to Sting. There was already photos of him doing some sort of MMA training with Aleister Black.
It's
You know,
earlier
so huh? From earlier today, yeah. So it's like he's not a part timer. He's going right in there. He's getting involved and mingling with the locker room and whatnot. So I think that's all good signs. He has a little gray in the beard, the facial hair, not the beard, but the facial hair, and he kind of reminds me. I don't know if you guys have ever watched The Walking Dead, but what's his name? Keegan, something like
Negan.
that. Negan, Keegan, whatever. I got beef with Negan because spoiler alert, he killed off my guy. I'm blanking on his name right now, but I was very upset about it at the time and stopped watching the series. Anyways, he looks like him, but great
Well,
stuff overall. Great stuff overall. I mean, a lot of what he said were pretty much uh digs at WWE without saying WWE. He did everything but mention Triple H. I mean, I'm sure he probably did refer to Triple H in one way or another, but good stuff overall. I was, you can't ask for anything better than that.
yeah. So we'll see what they do with him. Obviously, it's a big deal. They drew over 1.1 million viewers for Rampage,
Mm-hmm.
so their biggest viewership, I think, for that show. We'll see how that holds up or not. I'm sure All Out. I know it's sold out. Pretty sure it's sold out. And then we'll see the numbers for that. I mean, that'll be the first pay-per-view with CM Punk on it, so we'll see how numbers are.
I mean, they're teasing. It was kind of teased. I mean, we'll just talk about it a little bit here. As we're filming this, recording this, AEW is going on. I don't know which one it is. Dynamite, I guess. The fans are chanting yes, and CM Punk said, "Give it a little time, and he may be here." He referring to Daniel Bryan. So there was kind of the anticipation and the build of CM Punk coming for this last event, which obviously is going to help that number that they got. I think having a tease like that for Daniel Bryan, maybe he shows up at the next pay-per-view or something. And they do put it together another good and strong number the way that they have. Yeah, I mean, if you just have another big star like that waiting to kind of pop up at any given moment, the same way CM Punk did, I think it kind of helps with the numbers, with people wanting to tune in and check them out every so often.
Definitely. Let's move on to SummerSlam, the biggest event of this summer, as it's referred to as.
I would say it's the only event in the summer, but
well, this comes from GiveMeSport.com, mentioning some of the highlights for SummerSlam because it was the most viewed and highest grossing SummerSlam of all time. So I've got some numbers here. Normally,
wait, how is it
I'll go.
Highest grossing?
They made the most
really?
money, sir. Yeah.
No, I know that, but when you consider the pandemic, or
there was 51,000 people in attendance, sir.
Well, I mean, there could have been 50,000, 51,002 people or 3 people if you decided to go to Vegas, but you didn't want to go to Vegas, so we didn't go.
Sir, I said it.
Isn't that the story? Isn't that what happened?
I made an appearance on our good friend Terrell's Talk That Talk radio show. So if you find that on social media, go follow him. I don't know if there's any clips or anything, but if you're able to listen, go check that out.
Yeah, I think he has a podcast. I think he archives that his shows.
I think he does. So I'll for sure share the link next time.
And he's based out of Vegas. Went to UNLV, so I know that show's kind of based out of Vegas.
He's based
out of started Vegas. In Vegas.
Mm-hmm. So we had a discussion about SummerSlam, but I'm going to give some highlights here. More people watched Saturday's event live across Peacock and WWE Network than any other SummerSlam in the company's history. The 7-figure global audience marked a 55% increase over 2020 and a 29% increase over 2019. So obviously during the pandemic, a lot of people kind of stopped watching. There's no crowd. Maybe the storylines weren't as big. Obviously, our tribal chief, who I acknowledge right now,
your tribal chief,
Roman Reigns, our head of the table, was a surprise. So he wasn't promoted. So of course, people weren't expecting to watch there. The sellout crowd of 51,326 broke SummerSlam records for indoor attendance and gate receipts.
You know what?
I'm sorry?
I said, it just came to me. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but do you want to know why it was the most highest grossing whatever show?
Because Roman Reigns.
No, because John Cena put out another new shirt, and it's one I actually kind of want to get.
Dear God. We'll talk about him in a bit. Tickets purchased by fans from all 50 U.S. states. Saturday's live gate was more than 4 times greater than the last SummerSlam held with fans in 2019. Merchandise sales posted an increase of 155% over 2019.
John Cena's new shirt.
No, I think it's Roman Reigns' new shirt, sir. I don't think I saw anyone.
I don't even know. What shirt would he have?
It could have been Becky's new shirt. She got a new shirt.
Well, everyone got a new shirt.
Apparently.
But Cena was the only one who I noticed wearing it at the show.
Becky wore hers at the show. She gave one away.
You know what? Don't even remind me, Becky. We'll get into that later.
SummerSlam set a new sponsorship record, growing by 25% versus 18% in 2019. And with more than 4 million views, Brock Lesnar's return became the most watched Instagram video of all time, surpassing the video of John Cena's Money in the Bank return.
Okay, wait. So most viewed WWE Instagram video, or
yes.
Okay.
Most viewed WWE Instagram video. So a lot of big numbers there. A lot of firsts, and WWE is making some big money. Kicked off with someone who at the time had no money. That bum, Baron Corbin, he's a bum.
Hey, he's not a bum anymore. He's making big moves.
Still a bum. I mean, he's making moves. Okay, so basically the story going the last couple of days is Baron Corbin's still in Vegas. He gambled money away. He won it. He got the presidential suite. He lost the presidential suite and ended up in a motel last night. This morning, I see he's driving in a Corvette or some type of car with the new suit. Yes, so he's got money again, and we'll see if he has money by Friday Night SmackDown. We'll wait and see.
just to again kind of chime in there, I think it's great storytelling or whatever they're doing with Baron Corbin, and it kind of goes to keeping the gimmick strong even after the TV cameras are off, and Ted DiBiase obviously on NXT, but a kind of a throwback to that in regard to the gimmick where I'm assuming it wasn't really a plant, but it was like someone had a video of Corbin actually at the table, and like Corbin kind of looks over and was like, but like in gimmick, in dirty shirt and all, like
It was totally
at the table.
a plan.
But that channel was so random. But even if it was, that's still good storytelling. Sticking to the gimmick.
That's great.
Look, Corbin didn't go to the after party after SummerSlam. He took it upon himself. He was going to turn his luck around in Vegas, and he did that.
For now, he hasn't left Vegas yet. He's still in Vegas.
He said he might stay, so I don't blame him.
We'll see. I don't know where Friday Night SmackDown is being held, but I'm assuming he has to show up for work, so we'll see what he does there.
I mean, they ain't giving him any money anyways, it seems like. I mean,
he's got bills to pay. I hope he's paid.
Hey, you can't get Future Endeavored if you aren't getting paid.
Right? I guess so. Well, he got the losing paycheck on Saturday because he lost to Big E in the kickoff show, which is a last-minute match. We obviously didn't get predictions from that because it was a last-minute effort. But I think it was safe to say Big E was going to walk out with the gold. Yeah. Or walk out with the briefcase, I should say, because he did end up losing that briefcase. All right, next up for SummerSlam, the main show. We kicked off the actual main show. So Rob, you were at the theater.
And I don't recall that match you're just mentioning right now. I'm like, what?
Oh,
wait, what
so
match?
They didn't show the kickoff show matches in the theater.
Nope.
Which is one match.
Well, I mean, yeah, you had to pay the extra price to get into theater B, which shows the pre-show plus the main card. I don't know.
You got to go to the IMAX theater.
No, you got to go to the 3D version.
Were those commercials exclusive? Because there was some that had a QR code saying, "Hey, if you're here, like, you get access to early sales right now."
For Money in the Bank, I think.
Oh.
Right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I think, yeah, if it's for Money in the Bank, I know we got the QR codes for that for Vegas. But what was the theater experience like? Was there anyone else there, Rob? Before we get into any specifics of the matches, just talk about your experience.
I just think that they did a good job, that there was enough people that were willing to stick around for the length of a pay-per-view.
Nice. It was around a, 4-hour pay-per-view?
Yeah, they sticked around.
Nice. How many people were there, would you say?
I mean, everybody preferred the upper rows, so the front part was kind of not a lot of people, but the rest of the back pretty full.
Would you say it was about 50% full, or
like 60 or 70?
60 or 70% full.
Okay, that's not bad.
It's a good amount. So maybe we'll see more WWE pay-per-views in some movie theaters in the near future. I
still wanted the freebie. There was no freebie.
There was no freebie.
There never was a freebie. You made that up.
Last time they had Pikachu or whatever cards when Pokemon came out.
I remember that. I got one of those now.
First of all, this is not Pokemon. This is wrestling, and
we gotta go to commercial.
I mean, when was the last Pokemon movie?
We are 22S Radio. 22S Radio is 22smedia.com and 88.1 FM KKJZ HD3, Long Beach, Los Angeles. Welcome back to episode 157 of Beyond the Ropes. We are BTR Pro Wrestling Talk. I am your host, Ethan, joined alongside the analyst James Williams and producer Rob Flores. We're talking SummerSlam. The show kicked off with the Raw Tag Team Championship match between RK Bro, Randy Orton, and Riddle taking on Omos and AJ Styles. A fun Kickstarter match for the live audience, aside from the kickoff show match. It ultimately ended with RK Bro getting the victory with Randy Orton hitting that RKO on AJ Styles. We all predicted this kind of off air because we completely forgot this match existed. But we predicted it. It was all RK Bro.
You guys all copied me.
Sir, how dare you? I'm really loving the RK Bro storyline, and they continued it on Raw. Again, getting another victory with Riddle over AJ Styles. And RK Bro standing tall to end Monday Night Raw. So that was the first match. Any thoughts before we move on?
No, I mean, just as soon as the match ended, it made me realize how many times has Randy Orton actually won the tag team titles, and with different partners too. I feel like
He's won them
there's
with
Edge and a
Edge.
few like Edge and not Big Show.
Who else did he?
Kofi?
Oh, he won it
with
with Bray Wyatt.
with Bray, I think he won it with either Flair or DiBiase or Rhodes.
I know for sure it was jeez. I'm
There
forgetting.
was a few. There was a few
There's a
though.
couple.
So it was just kind of interesting. I mean, and you don't think about Randy that much as a tag team guy, but good for Randy. He's kind of in a spot where he can kind of help get some guys over, or a guy like kind of Riddle along. And actually, to that point, one thing and I think I tweeted about it right away. As soon as Riddle and Orton won, one thing that stood out was because I think this was Riddle's first title win, right?
No, he won the U.S. title earlier this year.
That's right. Okay. Well, anyways, one thing that stood out to me was Orton, you can kind of see him kind of guiding Riddle like to the right spots, telling him, hey, get on the turnbuckle and celebrate the title win. When they, the entranceway was a little funky, but Orton was standing right in front of the camera, and Riddle was kind of floating away from it, and he kind of wrangles him back in and whatnot. So I just thought it was good, and I think that's kind of the point of what they're trying to do here, is kind of get Riddle ready for whatever comes next in his career, and who better to have more or less as a mentor, as a guide down the path to success than someone like Randy Orton, especially at this stage in his career.
Absolutely, I agree. Next match we had, we had probably the most popular match of the night: Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie. This match didn't need to happen. Yeah, well, I'm not going to spend much time on it. Basically, we all predicted Bliss would win. She won. That's it. Doudrop kind of turned on her at the end, kind of giving her the announcement treatment that Eva Marie's been doing. That's about it. So, next match, we're sticking on the Raw side with the United States Championship between Sheamus taking on Damian Priest. This is a good match. This is a hard-hitting match. Obviously, Sheamus himself is a hard hitter, and Damian Priest kept up. This was a good match. Let's see predictions. Rob had Sheamus here, and James and I had Damian Priest. And Damian Priest ended up picking up the victory with the Reckoning to win his first title on the main roster. He ended up winning that United States Championship. Any thoughts on this match?
No, not really. I mean, a good win. Nice to see Damian Priest kind of get another title, and we'll see where they go from here with him.
Absolutely. Next match we had, let's see, for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, another fun match. The Usos, of course, part of the Bloodline, with our tribal chief Roman Reigns.
Your tribal chief Roman Reigns.
Taking on Dominic and Rey Mysterio. The Mysterios once again were off. They fell short here, and Rob is saying that match got his mom's attention. That's good. That's good. Getting Rob's mom's attention. That's
yeah. Okay, wait, Rob. Wait. I guess this is something we didn't talk about. So, who all turn your mic on, Rob? Turn your mic on. Who all went with you to the theater? I don't think you told us that.
It was just me and my mom.
There you
So
go.
she wasn't
You didn't
bad.
You didn't take your brother?
No. He was with my dad, but she was feeling bad because they kept isolating Dominic, saying, "Is that your daddy right there?" And they were like not letting him tag. She was all snapping her fingers.
Oh
Okay,
my goodness.
okay. Interesting.
I'm sure that was a
All right.
people experience for sure. The Mysterios fell short. Usos ended up picking up the victory after hitting that Uso splash. Let's see. I think Rey and Dominic also had a little Macho Man tribute with their gear.
Macho Man tribute. Okay.
Yeah, if you look at their gear.
I'll have to look at it again.
We all had the Usos winning here, so look at that. We picked up another one there.
You guys
I
are
feel
popping it again.
Oh, perhaps my favorite match of the night. for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Oh, here it goes. Here it goes.
Bianca
I'm
Belair.
upset.
Bianca Belair came out. She's expecting Sasha Banks, Rob's favorite wrestler. And I'm sure Rob was in the theater so excited. He was getting his popcorn. He got his soda, his large big gulp drink already. He was like, yes, Sasha Banks is here. And she's not. Lazy Sasha Banks decided not to show up. There's again rumors speculating certain reasons. We're not going to get into them.
We're not? Why not?
Because they're not confirmed. I don't know what's real or not. So I'd rather not throw out anything until, it's revealed.
Fine.
We're not TMZ, sir. We're not
We're not trying to be TMZ.
Exactly. We're not TMZ.
All right.
Rob was looking forward to the match. I think everyone was. There were rumors throughout the week that Sasha wasn't going to show up. And apparently it was true. They saved it till the very last minute. Her replacement was the most beautiful woman in WWE. James, do you agree?
Carmella?
Wow. Shady Carmella, huh? Carmella came out. Carmella came out, and then after, a disappointed audience, we heard the famous music of one Becky Lynch making her return after over a year absence. It has been rumored that she's been cleared for a couple of months. She is back with her bright orange hair. She's got a new t-shirt saying the man is back in Vegas. And she came out, took out Carmella. The fans loved that. And then she made the challenge to Bianca Belair. And the match began. She gave Bianca a nice little punch and then hit her version of a rock bottom, which is called the Manhandle Slam, to get the victory and become the new SmackDown Women's Champion. Twitter was not too happy about this. I know you weren't too happy about this.
Go
ahead, James. What do you have to say about this?
As a helicopter is getting ready to take off here at UCLA. Yeah, obviously, whatever the situation was with Sasha Banks, I'd kind of seen something about maybe she's not being there. And I think it was already at that time, people were saying maybe they decide to, people were saying at the time, rush Becky back into the ring. Say what you want. They rushed whatever angle they did here. Yeah, I was a little upset just because you spent so much time building up and running with Bianca Belair after the WrestleMania win. You had her on I think she was like on Good Morning America or whatever. She was on a bunch of stuff after winning the title. It was a huge deal. She kind of had a nice little run going. And it just all went down the drain in a matter of seconds. Supposedly she was on the red carpet after the loss and was pretty straight-faced and in good spirits, I guess, about the way it shaked out, or the way it played out. But yeah, I wasn't very happy about it just because that's just a missed opportunity. It's SummerSlam. It's different if it's Money in the Bank or something else like that. But when it's SummerSlam, when you're big four, if not the second biggest pay-per-view in WWE's lineup throughout any year in its history, you could have had a match here. There's no reason why you couldn't have had a match or you tease towards a match, but you make a moment out of this, not a debacle or scandal. They're in cahoots. They're trying to take out Bianca Belair and her title run, and they did that, and I'm very upset about it. No, I just think they could have been booked better. You could have made a moment out of it, had a face-to-face, set up something for down the road, and that wasn't done here. And I don't know. You just kind of threw everything you were doing with Bianca Belair down the drain, and I don't think there was any reason for that to have happened.
Well, I see it as we'll see what happens on Friday.
That's what you see it as? That's what you see it as?
Speculation that someone might be turning. Someone.
I was
I don't
about
know.
to say
Could go either way. Could go either way.
It could go either way, but I don't. There's no. It shouldn't be Belair, but it shouldn't be Becky either.
It probably shouldn't be, but we'll have to wait and see. I enjoyed the moment.
It wasn't a moment.
It was a moment.
You got
People
me
were
screaming
talking about it. People were talking about it.
Listen. You got me screaming on this UCLA campus like a crazy person without a mask as it is. Okay, we're not doing this now. No. It wasn't a moment.
It was a moment.
It was a travesty.
Crowd pop.
That's what it was.
Like the pop, they pop.
What was there to pop about? That was
nice. It was a shocker.
Sure, when she came out and you
they got everyone to stop talking about CM Punk and threw everything at it, regardless. I mean, if you like it or not.
No, I mean, I'm glad Becky's back, but I just don't think that was the way to go about it. Because what did it really accomplish? Because now Becky Lynch is going to be there, and who is she going to fight? Who is she going to have a match with? I mean, Bianca Belair already was kind of running low on some matches or any sort of dream possibilities, and it kind of, wasn't doing anything for me as it was. So now you've already destroyed what could have been the best rivalry they could have had over the next month or two, and they just wasted that.
It's going to kick off the rivalry between them. So we'll see what happens on SmackDown, sir, and then we'll come back to it. All right. No, I'm
upset. I'm very upset, and I'm upset. If we would have had this discussion right after the show,
I saw your Twitter feed, sir. I saw we were both live tweeting. I know you were upset.
I would have needed a whole segment to myself. And to be honest with you, I'll tell you right now that moment alone between Sasha and Becky kind of left me disinterested the rest of the show.
I got that from a couple of people. I got that.
I was kind of over the whole show, to be honest.
I wasn't over the whole show because there were some good moments and matches.
Oh, there was. They got one thing right in the whole thing, but we'll get to that when it comes.
Let's see. We obviously all got this one wrong because Bianca Belair lost, and of course Sasha Banks.
I don't think this one should count.
Well, I mean, it
wasn't the match that we picked.
Regardless, it's nullified. So, next up we got Jinder Mahal versus Drew McIntyre. James had Jinder Mahal. Rob had Jinder Mahal. I guess I was the only one who knows, who's going to win this.
You were just playing it safe.
I was playing it smart. And apparently Rob went to the restroom during this match. Don't worry, Rob, you didn't miss much. Drew McIntyre beat Mahal. It was fine. It was a match.
Yeah,
so
it wasn't.
Next up, we had for the Raw Women's Championship, Nikki ASH versus Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. Rob and I both picked Nikki ASH, and speaking of playing it safe over here, Mr. James Williams picking Charlotte Flair to win this one. I will admit the crowd was behind her, and it was a great match. This was a solid triple threat. She ended up getting the victory over Nikki ASH, I believe, making her tap out. And she is now a 12-time women's champion. And
why? Because Ric Flair left and because Andrade's gone, so they got to do what they can to make her happy. Is that what's going on here? Again, you build up Nikki ASH and all this other stuff and yada, 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 and she beat them both. And all this leading up to the opportunity, she gets the opportunity. What do? Just give the title back to Charlotte.
She's a reliable person, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I mean, Nikki's not?
I don't know. Maybe they got cold feet. It looks like they're going a different direction with Nikki.
They're going there with this was pretty much a restart show just across the board. It's like a hard reset on everything.
Definitely.
Which is fine, but
all right. Next up, let's talk about one of my favorite things. Of course, let's talk about our the revolutionary Seth Rollins.
Making up words. You're not making up words.
Did you see the drip god himself? Did you see how good he looked? And then beautiful jacket. He came out. Look at that attire. Look at that royalty.
To be honest, I think I started getting up and was getting ready to go eat dinner.
I'm not gonna continue the show at this rate.
But I did stop when I heard one of the top 5 theme songs or engine songs
The
of
Brood
all time.
It's Edge, as you can see in my background. There he is. He's right there.
Mm-hmm.
Edge is right here. Right there.
Mm-hmm.
Came out to the Brood theme, Brood attire. Walked through the flames, and then went to his current theme. But it was great match. Obviously, Seth Rollins carrying Edge to a quality match because that's what Seth Rollins does. He carries people to quality matches. We got to see some deep cuts from Edge, with the educator, that submission. Not the sharpshooter. It was the educator.
Is that what he calls a sharpshooter?
Well, he doesn't do it like a sharpshooter. Did you see how he did it? Yeah, it started out as a sharpshooter and then he turned it around. So it kind of.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's called the educator. But yeah, he won by submission. It was like a sleeper hold type move, which was interesting. I liked it. It wasn't, a typical spear. Wasn't a typical move. It was kind of a sleeper hold / crossface maneuver, which got the victory, which I thought fit the storyline perfectly. Obviously, Edge going to that dark place in order to take out Seth Rollins. Both Rob and I had Seth Rollins winning this, and you had Edge winning this.
So, what were you guys thinking?
Seth Rollins is the present, and he should be winning, matches. But I'm not against the Edge. I did tweet out I wanted a Brood shirt. No one called me back or anything. I messaged Edge.
Do they not have a Brood shirt?
An Edge Brood shirt. I want a new Brood shirt with Edge.
I mean, did they ever have a Brood shirt?
No, I just want one. But anyways, we got to hit a quick commercial break. When we return, we'll talk more SummerSlam right here on Beyond the Ropes. We are 22S Radio. 22S Radio is 22smedia.com and 88.1 FM, KKJZ HD3, Long Beach, Los Angeles. Welcome back to episode 157 of Beyond the Ropes. We are BTR Pro Wrestling Talk. I am your host, Ethan. You can find me on Twitter at EthanM85. You can follow James at
JHW Reporter.
And you can follow Rob at
Rob Flores Media. And don't forget the R-Truth DMs for Ethan.
R-Truth, once again, unable to capture that 24/7 championship from Reggie.
Were they even on the show? Did they even do anything?
On Monday Night Raw, they did.
Oh.
He escaped with an ice cream truck. So take that, CM Punk. Let's get into our WWE Championship match. 7 minutes for a Goldberg match.
Exactly why I timed the thing, and it didn't happen that way. And yeah, it was like 7 minutes. I was very impressed because Goldberg matches are on average maybe like 3-4 minutes. So,
Goldberg, a wrestling technician in this.
Oh my God, yes.
See my tweet?
A grizzled vet.
A grizzled vet. Over here hitting shoulder blocks. Did you see the shoulder blocks?
I
did a couple power slams. I think he threw Lashley off the top rope at one point.
And then he tried to go for a jackhammer.
And then he hurt his knee. And it was kind of downhill from there. Lashley took advantage, and Goldberg couldn't finish the match. Goldberg said, "Not taking the pin." That's what he said.
And he said, "No, yeah."
They're totally having a rematch at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia. That's
happening. And I'm sure Lashley's gonna lose the title there because that's what always happens. That's what happened with Bray Wyatt, I think. The Goldberg, what was I gonna say? Oh, do you think it was a work, or you think it was a shoot on the ankle injury? Do you think?
At first, I thought, it was real. I was like,
I thought it was real.
But
when you go 7 minutes,
but then, okay, they do the spot after the match with Goldberg's son. When we'll talk about Gage in a second.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
I'm like, awesome. This isn't over. There's no way Goldberg's just gonna let that happen. This is obviously gonna lead. And then they promoted Crown Jewel at SummerSlam. I'm like, this is going to Crown Jewel for sure.
Because Goldberg has to get over in Saudi Arabia for whatever the reason.
Because the Prince loves Goldberg.
Oh, because supposedly that's the thing. Yeah.
But yes, Gage. 15 years old, and he's more brave than James would ever be. He wouldn't step in the ring.
No.
Gage over here, put the title on him. I'm ready. Put him in the Performance Center. Get him out there with Dominic Mysterio. Let's just.
I mean, yeah, he already looks like he's 18. I mean, that's what happens when you provoke Bobby Lashley, though. You suffer the consequences.
Bobby Lashley put his hands on a child. He should have been stripped.
No, the child put his hands on Bobby Lashley, and he paid accordingly. And to Bobby Lashley's defense, he did not know that was Gage. And plus, if anyone tries to attack Bobby Lashley's going to attack him. And if you've seen the videos that have been on Twitter or just anything else from back in the day, all the home footage and whatnot, if a fan jumps into the ring, they are handled accordingly. And this was no different. Gage is a fan, and he got in the ring, and he got what he deserved. He got choked out. Not even choked out. He got put to sleep in 2 seconds. It was literally I don't know if it was the best or worst sell of all time.
He's not on Goldberg's level yet. He's only 15.
Not Goldberg's level. He is on Goldberg's level.
I tweeted it out that you approve of children getting attacked by Bobby Lashley in the middle of the ring.
Only if they put their hands on somebody first.
We're totally getting the rematch in Crown Jewel at the greatest Royal Rumble Super Showdown, Crown Jewel, whatever they're calling it. The real life Halloween Havoc, as we like to refer to as. All right, main event time. Let's talk about our tribal chief, Roman Reigns, taking on that part-timer, that Hollywood wannabe actor, John Cena, and his new T-shirt that he ripped off from
a new T-shirt,
Super Mario or whatever.
Well, yeah, I got it from Super Mario, and then I saw the Young Bucks tweet something out too with that Super Mario thing too. So I don't know if that was
also has it, so everyone copied off Mario at some point. So
well, that's kind of lame though if the Young Bucks did it already, but
everyone did it. So,
but yeah, I'd get that. I was willing to buy you guys a shirt if John Cena won, but John Cena
crash.
Was Robert.
Quickly. This was the first half of the match was fine. Second half, I'm not gonna lie, these near falls, Roman cut it too close for me. I was out here getting heart palpitations over here.
I mean, but doesn't that just speak to how someone like John Cena, I mean, let alone John Cena is the legend, can come in right off of a movie studio, come in and near almost beat Roman Reigns with no preparation or matches in between?
But
if you're Roman Reigns, shouldn't you be a little concerned about that?
No, it only took one spear to take out Cena. He hit one spear, boom, he's done.
I mean,
and then he disappeared, and then we get the return of Ponytail Brock with beard, looking like he hated another human being. Got the pop of the weekend,
which was kind of surprising.
People love Brock now.
I don't know if it was a pop of the weekend. I don't know about that.
Oh, it was. It was.
No, it wasn't. But I guess I'm surprised that he's back. I think it sets up nicely for the story angle of where they're gonna go, and it's not.
They're going to Crown Jewel, sir. They're doing this again.
I mean, they can go wherever they want. I mean, I'm fine with it. I just think it's good storytelling because now it's not just Brock hungry. Brock want title. It's Brock versus Roman, and they're going to try and figure out where Paul Heyman's, where is he going to side with this whole thing?
Paul Heyman knows to acknowledge tribal chief. He was in tears. He was scared. I was scared too.
Did you catch Roman on the bump at all? I didn't. I'll tell you right now, I didn't. But I know he was on the bump.
No,
I didn't get a chance to hear what Roman said, and I don't think he's
scared.
I think Heyman was on the bump too, or something too. So I have to go back and listen to what they said.
We'll have to go back and listen to it for sure. Let's talk about a great show. First off, well, it wasn't terrible, I would say.
So I picked Lashley. I picked Roman. I think I probably picked
yeah, you acknowledge your tribal chief.
No, I picked Roman.
Well, we all acknowledge our tribal chief.
No, that's not what happened.
I'm pretty sure it did. So, anyways, let's talk about NXT Takeover. I'm not gonna lie, I was scared because it was an interesting night. What may have been the last takeover of its kind, but I'm starting to think maybe not. Maybe not. We'll see. But let's talk about NXT TakeOver. Kicked off. There was a kickoff show match with let's see, what's his name? Trey Baxter taking on Rich Holland. Rich Holland kind of squashed him. Not bad. Kicked off with the $1 Million Championship. Say it with me, James.
Cameron Grimes.
LA Knight came out, defended the title. What was I didn't realize it was, I didn't realize this was, the stipulated match. It was a 2-on-1 handicap match, apparently.
Oh,
I didn't get the memo.
Lord, so butthurt.
I don't know what happened here, but Millionaire Ted over here getting his nose in business that doesn't belong to him. He's putting a hand, like he was full on doing moves on LA Knight. Where was the referee? I demanded the referee be released, next part of her releases, because she's not doing her job. That bum Cameron Grimes over there, that fake, wearing that terrible gear, by the way. It's not good gear. He shouldn't be wearing that. He needs to change his gear.
That was $1 million tire.
It was terrible.
$1 million tire.
But he came out and he stole. It was a little robbery, the robbery of the weekend. And he stole that championship. But apparently on Tuesday, it looks like your hero over here, Millionaire Ted, got one over on Cameron Grimes. So I guess not so much of a good guy.
What happened?
Cameron Grimes has a replica title. $1 Million Ted never gave him that title, and I think he got rid off TV. So
of course
Cameron Grimes is once again a bum. So didn't end up with that $1 Million Championship. I think that title's been written off. So
that would make LA Knight a bum too.
Well, no, he had the real one. So I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I don't know if he actually had the real one. So I got to go back and watch that.
Always a scandal.
Next up, we had the NXT Women's Championship match between Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. By the way, Rob and I had LA Knight winning before. If I would have known it was a 2-on-1 handicap match, I probably would have switched, but I didn't.
You would have.
Rob and I also had Dakota Kai. Actually, no. I had Dakota Kai.
What were you thinking?
I don't know. I didn't realize there was going to be a surprise debut at the end. But Raquel Gonzalez, you guys picked it correctly and got the victory there. It was a solid match. I love this fast-paced match. They kept going and going. I think it was the best way to go about it. After the match, get to see the debut of the longest-reigning NXT UK Women's Champion, Kaylee Ray. Looks like she's gunning for that NXT Women's Championship now. So there we go. Next up, we had Match of the year. Hands down, match of the year. Nothing's going to top this, sir. CM Punk and Darby Allin could go to a 60-minute Iron Man match if they want. I don't see it topping what we saw between Walter and Ilya Dragunov for the NXT United Kingdom Championship. James, you saw this. It was a fantastic match, right? Brutal.
Yeah, it was brutal and physical. And someone posed the question on Twitter. Would you take a couple chops from Walter for $1 million?
I don't know if I'll even make it past one.
So I answered it this way: that's life-changing money, but those are also life-changing chops. I don't know if you would have seen your new champion after when they came over to do an interview with them.
He looked like the loser of the match.
Yeah, he looked like the loser. He looked like he got hit by a bus.
If you saw their first match over on NXT UK last October or November, I believe, great match. I believe this one topped it. It even got even more brutal. Obviously, I don't know. I mean, I could go on talking about this match. I'm probably going to go watch it again soon. But Ilya ended up putting Walter in a sleeper. He made him submit. The longest reigning NXT UK champion, longest reigning champion of the modern era, got tapped out. And he stood tall. Ilya Dragunov stood tall. So there's going to be a new era for NXT UK over there. So go check that match out. Another match you should check out is the best 2 out of 3 falls match, the undisputed finale with Adam Cole, baby, and Cool Kyle O'Reilly. I hope this wasn't the last match we saw of Adam Cole in NXT or WWE. started with the standard pro wrestling match. Cool Kyle got the roll up victory over Cole first. Then we got to see Adam Cole hit that last shot for the second fall in the street fight. And then cage match. Adam Cole got a little arrogant and ended up getting into that submission, that heel hook, and Cool Kyle made him tap out.
And this was all while he was still handcuffed, right? That's kind of what I didn't like about it was
he got arrogant. He was very Adam
yeah,
Cole.
he kind of got arrogant. It just kind of was a little too sudden of a finish, I felt. Like it was kind of like, okay, they're kind of working through something here. Let's see how it gets out of the handcuffs. Let's see where they go with this. You know, maybe Adam Cole is going to get the best of him. He has him handcuffed. There's no way he can really, Cool Kyle can get out of this situation. And he finds a way to win, like in a matter of like 2 minutes after having the cuffs on. Like it was ridiculous.
A heel hook is a dangerous move. Yeah.
That's great, but it was a little too sudden, a little too quick, a little too. That's the end of the match for me. So
yeah. If the last image is Adam Cole being helped out by a referee on WWE television, I'm going to be heartbroken. I don't believe he was on NXT yesterday, and I believe his contract comes up within the next couple of days. Don't know if he's re-signed or not, but I guess we'll find out probably by next week. So
to be fair, you know, I was expecting to know one way or another which way
they didn't give us that
the contract was, and they didn't, and they really didn't. They really didn't.
It's hard to tell.
It was hard to tell. I believe with Britt Baker and the Young Bucks were kind of teasing something on Twitter.
Yeah.
Tell me, did Adam Cole change his bio after the match, before, or was that always his bio on
What was
Twitter?
his bio? Did he change his bio? Oh dear.
His bio says top wrestler in every company I've been in.
Let me see what it is. I'll be honest, I don't remember.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if that changed a whole lot or what, but well, the Young Bucks said new bio, and I guess they were probably referring to themselves. I thought they were talking about Adam Cole, but so maybe nothing to change on Adam Cole's side of things. But before we started the show, maybe an hour and a half before the show, I saw something about Adam Cole's going to be making an appearance or doing an obligation. It seems like with Johnny Gargano and the WWE, something from Mattel. I guess maybe the next line of toys appearance. So this is going to be on Thursday, which is tomorrow. Apparently the contract runs out on Friday, or ends on Friday. So it doesn't necessarily mean that he's done with WWE, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he's staying in WWE. Either way, if this is the last of Adam Cole, I think it's kudos to him for kind of going through with the extra obligation, not extra, but going through the obligation and doing.
It was the contract extension that he signed to finish off the storyline.
Right. But it was always under the impression that it was going to end on Sunday right after the show, which would have made some sense to me, I would think, just because, I mean, if you know when the pay-per-view when the pay-per-view is, why would you therefore have another week after?
Hey, maybe he announces he re-signed. He re-signed. Maybe he does. That would be a big deal.
I'm definitely. You know, and I think too for WWE to kind of go out of their way to promote this. Not saying that they would or wouldn't have differently if he was staying or wasn't staying, or none of this was a factor. But I did find it interesting that they did kind of tweet it, that it was a thing. Yeah, I'm curious to see where they go, and I think it can only be a positive side of maybe he does stay. Are you going to be trying to watch this Mattel thing at all, or do you have any interest in that?
I work, but I'll have to check it out when I get a chance. So
okay.
We've all had Ilya Dragunov winning the title, and we all had Adam Cole winning here. So interesting. Yeah. In the main event, we all had Samoa Joe winning here, and well, we got a new NXT champion. I can hear my echo here. Are you guys watching? Okay, checking because I heard my echo.
No.
Okay. So Samoa Joe is the new champion, first time ever, 3-time NXT champion there. Karrion Kross basically got dumped over on Raw and got a new look.
Yeah, well,
Things are
yeah.
going
So
great.
I mean,
Things are going great for him.
one, it was. What do you expect with the way he was getting booked on Raw? I mean, of course he was going to lose this match, and yeah, I did see the new gimmick outfit, whatever, for the new ring attire for Cross, and it's kind of like what they try to do with Keith Lee. We'll see where it goes. I want to know where the manager's at, the valet, but I don't know. They have questions they need to figure out with Cross and where they're going with that.
Absolutely. So
Nice to see Samoa Joe back in the ring, though.
absolutely. And until next time, this episode has been too sweet. And remember to acknowledge your product, Chief.